I believe that everybody has a story, and I'm fascinated to hear them. So come with me as we take a walk down Fascination Street. From the writer of The Alphabet Killer and the company that brought you The Attic and Shattered comes the new terrifying horror film, #Screamers.
Homepage?
Homepage, guys.
Yeah.
Homepage, Chris. We need homepage from you.
In a state of shock.
Chris, what do you hope is the future of the company?
We are people's first connection when they turn on their computer. That is the ultimate goal.
I want to make Giggler into a billion-dollar company, and we're going to do it. Watch us on the cover of Time magazine.
All right, we have a huge video, okay? And we all know this. If we don't capitalize on that video, we're nowhere, okay? So here's what I want to do.
Abby, check out this video, see what you can find, okay? Griffin,
Find out who's making these things.
we are supposed to not be able to track you. But the truth is, we can track you.
This is Tom Brennan from Giggler.com. Were you the person responsible for making the videos that were submitted to us?
How did you get this number?
Oh, she hung up.
In this first screamer that we got, I realized this belongs to a Francis Tumulty.
Okay, who is?
Is one of the prime suspects of Jack the Ripper.
No way. I'm looking at the original Screamer video. I'm scrubbing this.
same girl. It says she's been missing for years.
I mean, there are dozens of news articles about the disappearance of this girl.
This is a prank.
This is for real.
You know, it must be a real girl that's kidnapped by Jack the Ripper. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh my God!
Okay, we take this camera, we go up and we confront them. We have an address. Let's go knock on the goddamn door.
Tom, I don't think this is a good idea. We just.
No, man, this is a good video.
Tom, it's okay. Come on, guys. What the hell was that?
Tara?
Oh, what the?
Available now on iTunes and VOD everywhere. Hi everybody, this is Steve Owens from Fascination Street Podcast. I really appreciate your listening to the show. I'm having a lot of fun getting to talk to some really fascinating people, and I want to continue doing this, but I need your help. I need you to subscribe and tell people about the show. But the biggest thing you can do to help me is to rate and review the show on iTunes or wherever you listen through. As a special thank you, anyone who rates and/or reviews the show, send me a screenshot as proof and I will mail you a set of 3 pair of silk cufflinks courtesy of my friends at Menlo House. You can send it via Twitter to @FascinationSTPD, via Instagram to FascinationStreetPod, or email me at FascinationStreetPod@gmail.com. I really appreciate all of you for listening and for helping. Thank you so much. Now let's get to this week's guest. Welcome back, guys. This week's episode is with Raelyn Nelson. Aside from being the granddaughter of one of the most iconic figures in all of music history, Raelyn is an up-and-coming star in her own right. She fronts the Raelyn Nelson Band, which she herself describes as sort of a country vibe laid over a rock and roll band. In this episode, we talk about her grandfather Willie giving her her first guitar and showing her how to play a few notes. We talk about a This Is Us style house fire in which she had to rescue her kids from. We also talk about her duo band, and the upcoming 4th of July Willie Nelson family picnic. Raelyn was nice enough to sit down with me before one of her shows fairly recently in San Antonio. And with that in mind, some of the band members were doing their sound check, so at certain points you will hear some sort of loud instruments in the background. This episode does feature one song from the Raelyn Nelson Band and one song from her duo band, Enjoy, guys. Raelyn Nelson. Say things.
Hey, I believe you told me about Angie's
Here we are.
interview already.
Raelyn Nelson thank you so much for sitting down with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to
This is
Fascination
fun.
Street. So, really the whole point of the podcast is just that I talk to people who fascinate me.
Okay.
And you're fascinating.
Oh,
So,
good.
welcome to
That's
the
good
show.
to hear.
Welcome to San Antonio.
Thank you.
You guys are on tour. It's a little mini tour.
Mini tour, Texas.
Y'all go out for a week and then go back home for the weekend. Is that how it works?
Yeah,
or?
so I have 3 kids, and every other weekend they're with their dad on a regular schedule. And so that's when I try to book shows, give us 2 to 3 shows on those runs, and I can go back home and be with them. And this business, to make money, it's on the weekends to play shows. So
right.
he's actually really cool, and I'll take him on the other weekends as well if there's a show that pops up.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of money to be made on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
But
Maybe tips.
But
and-
Friday, that's cool.
Yeah.
Are y'all
Friday,
playing?
Saturday.
So tonight's Friday. Are y'all playing somewhere tomorrow?
We're playing in Denton tomorrow at
cool.
LSA Burger
Oh, okay. And where did you play last night?
in Austin at the Backstage El Mercado, which apparently there's 2 backstages. I have a lot of family in Austin, and a lot
I
of
would
them ended
imagine.
up at the other backstage instead of
Really?
at El Mercado. Apparently El Mercado is revamping their spot and trying to call it the Backstage, their venue. But everyone in town
So they're
kinda
not
knows
even
it as El
affiliated?
Mercado, even
Oh,
though it's a
weird.
music venue. So I should have been pimping on social media in a different way and didn't realize it. So
Or since it's family, you could have just called them. I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah. You're right.
Okay, so you said you have 3 kids?
I do have 3 kids. I have twins that are almost 11. They're boys. And I have a little girl that's 8.
Can you tell all their names? Is that okay?
Yeah, so Aiden and Brody are the boys.
Where did you get those names? Why Brody? That's an unusual name.
Brody, when I was younger in elementary school, there was a guy I went to school with whose older brother's name was Brody, and I thought it was a really cool name, and I thought he was a cool guy. He was a lot older than me, and I was like, he's really cool. So I always liked the name Brody because of that. And then the name means second son. So it kind of worked. And my ex-husband and I already had Aiden. I got Aiden from Sex and the City, John Corbett's character.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he loved it. It's an Irish name, and we both have Irish in our ancestry. So, and Aiden means fiery one. And Aiden happened to come out, or they pulled Aiden out first. It was a C-section.
So he came out first,
He came
and
out
then
first,
Brody
and then
was
Brody,
the second son.
He was the second son.
That's awesome.
And when you're pregnant with twins, they call them baby A and baby B.
Right.
So we just named baby A Aiden and baby B Brody to not be confusing.
Oh, that worked out. That
It
really
did.
did work out. And what's your daughter's name?
Vivian.
And where did that name come
We
from?
call her Vivi. It's funny, when I was growing up, my mom watched Gone with the Wind every few months. She just loved the movie, and I'd watch it with her.
That is an amazing movie.
Right?
It is so good.
And I fell in love with Vivian Lee. Not really Scarlett O'Hara, but that actress, I thought she was so cool. And so I always loved the name Vivian. And when we were tossing names around and I said Vivian, their dad was like, that's it. I want that one.
Really?
And we call her Vivi, I always liked nicknames anyway, so
What
I
are
would
your
call her
nicknames
Vivi.
for Aiden and Brody?
A for Aiden
And B?
and Bro.
Oh, bro. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cute. I call my son B.
Yeah?
Yeah. His name is Phil. No,
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
No.
His name is Blaine, so I just call him B. So what got you into music?
Blaine's a great name.
Isn't it?
That's
I love
a cool
it.
one.
I really like it. It's spelled differently. It's spelled with a Y.
Okay.
B-L-A-Y-N-E. Every other Blaine is
I-N-E.
A-I-N-E.
Yep.
But yeah, his is L-A-Y-N-E, and
That's
he's
cool.
the greatest.
Any other kids?
Yeah, I have a daughter named Sally.
See, I love little names like Sally and Molly and Millie and that.
Names
yeah.
that nobody uses anymore.
Nancy.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're
Well
25 and 26. I know that your grandfather is Willie Nelson, and there's music just coursing through your family history.
Mm-hmm.
When did you decide that music is what you wanted to do?
I wanted to do it when I was a little girl, and I mean, my grandpa and my Aunt Bobby have been on the road for over 45 years together, And then my aunts, Amy and Paula, they always had bands and were performing at the picnics.
And then Uncle Lucas.
And that's more recent, you know.
He's an uncle, right?
He's my uncle.
Okay.
You're right. And Uncle Micah too. They both have
oh my gosh.
bands, and they're both younger than me. But growing up, I would see them play music, and I was like, they passed the music bug on. And I would be writing melodies in my head and didn't quite really know. I think my mom knew, but I didn't really know. And then when I figured it out, of course, I just started writing a lot. But yeah, they definitely gave me the music bug. And honestly, they were always working too. That's what he's working. They're working that week. They're working that summer. They're on that tour. So growing up, it was always they were working, and their work seemed like awesome. Just making music with your friends. That's what we want.
Getting to see the country, getting to
travel,
getting to meet all kinds of people and do all kinds of cool things, and that's work. And then you just come home from work, and that's cool. I can see how flattering. My dad, he plays bass and sings.
Okay.
And he's been in bands since before I was alive.
Uh-huh.
And
so you know what it's like.
I do,
it's the same thing.
Except that I have not a musical bone in my body. This is my creative outlet.
Yeah.
I can't play any instrument. I can't carry a tune. Nothing. But, growing up, my dad would play places like this, and even when I was in middle school and high school, I was a roadie, and finally we made this lighting rig, and then I was the light guy. So I was getting it home.
You've always been a part of it.
Yeah, I was always in there. I learned how to play pool in a bar.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of happy times, a lot of good memories, and if I could play anything or sing at all, I probably would do it, just because it was so. I don't know, it was just so awesome, growing up like that. It was so...
Yeah, you kind of have this feeling of, I'm in a place where other kids don't get to be,
Yeah, and other kids got to be asleep by 9:30.
That's exactly right.
I'm not even going to get home till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm. And it's okay, because this is how my family works, This is what we do. So, I remember having that kind of and not even because of the fame my family had, but because I felt like other kids aren't going to be able to be up till 3,
That's
and
right, yeah.
be on a tour bus right now.
So I saw you guys drove in.
We did.
Y'all just took that one car?
Yeah, we rented the 15-passenger vehicle. It's tight in there. 5 of us and all of our gear.
On all of your gear?
Mm-hmm.
That seems like and y'all drove from Nashville?
We drove from Nashville. My grandpa has a place in Abbott, Texas. So
I thought it was in Luck.
There's that one too. But he's got a place in Abbott, Texas.
Same grandpa?
Yeah.
Okay. Is your other grandfather alive?
Well, he grew up. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
he
okay,
is,
cool.
and he's just as talented as my other grandpa.
Really?
But he builds cabinets.
What's his name?
His name is Billy Caldwell. It's my mom's dad.
Okay,
and
cool.
he makes cabinets. And I actually had a fire at my house on January 1st, 2016. And when they rebuilt the house, he did all the cabinets in my whole house for me, and they're beautiful.
Did he sign them?
Exactly how, I'm sure he did put his own signature stuff in there somewhere. But yeah, he's his whole life has been
Get him
his
to autograph
trade.
some of those cabinets for you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really sweet.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
It's really cool.
So, Abbott, Texas?
Oh, so my grandpa, Papa Willie, grew up in Abbott, Texas.
Is that what we call him? We call him Papa Willie?
Papa Willie, yeah.
Okay.
That was the first pun I ever came up with, too, when I was riding my bike. I was like, oh, Papa Willie. Anyway.
That pun only works for you. It doesn't work for
No
anybody
one
else. Nobody else has Papa Willie.
It's the first time I did a little play on words, and I was like, oh, look at me.
And you're like, I should put that to music.
So he grew up in Abbott, Texas, but it was in a shack right off the interstate. And it's a really small town, maybe 1,000 people.
I've lived here for 40-something years. I've never heard of Abbott, Texas.
You know Hillsboro, Texas?
Yeah.
And it's between Hillsboro and Waco.
Oh, okay.
Just a little bitty town.
And it's on the highway?
Uh-huh. Right off the highway.
Whoa. I've driven past it so many times, and I've never heard of it.
Now you'll see Abbott, and you'll see what it is. So you should venture off. It's Willie Nelson Road, right?
Oh, really? He's got his own road. Does he still have a place there, or no?
He does. So when he made it big, he went and bought the biggest place in the town, which was the doctor who delivered everyone when he was younger. So the doctor who delivered him and he would see patients in his house. It was the biggest house in town. So when he made it big, he bought it. Now, it's a country house, and it's not huge, but it is the biggest house in town. And I can't explain how cool that house is. It's got a lot of old magic tones.
It has to have a lot of history.
You feel it when you're there, and it's a country town. So there's, like, we've seen a snake in there a couple of times, and he's friendly, he's tiny, and he's probably just a garter snake. It's just a country place with a screened-in porch, beautiful scenery off the porch. It's quiet, and so we always, when we come to Texas, we try to get there and at least stay there a couple of nights.
Oh, so, he lets you stay there?
Yeah,
that's sweet.
Yeah.
That's
and
good.
I think we're the only one. And Papa Willie will stop through there a lot of times.
Sure.
I'm not sure if any of the other bands do, but it's kind of a place where if you're, traveling, because Texas is huge, you can stop and rest for a little bit. My daddy's actually buried.
And your dad was Willie Jr.?
Willie Nelson Jr., yeah.
Okay. His name Hugh?
Willie Hugh Nelson Jr., okay. That's right. I called my dad Billy.
And he passed in 91?
That's right.
How old were you at that time?
I was 7 years old. I'm 33 now.
Now, we don't have to talk about this at all if you want to, but did you know what was going on when you were little?
No, not at all. Just knew my dad died, and I was really sad for a long time and worried that my mom was going to die too.
Because she was really sad also.
My mom was really sad. And they weren't even together anymore, but I could see how sad my mom was. And
What's your mom's name?
Janet.
Janet.
She's awesome. She's the best mom anyone could ask for. She helps me a lot with my kids. And just so understanding. Always has been really understanding with whatever's going on. And I hope that I can make her proud of me. My dad, after he died, I went through this long period of just fear that my mom was going to die too, and that I was going to be left alone in the world. And she's still here. And I don't necessarily have that fear anymore. But for a long time, it would grow where I'd be like, oh my God, my mom's going to die. We're all going to die. Everyone's going to die that I know, and I'm going to be alone, But as I grew up, it kind of got better. And around my teenage years, I just decided to be happy. It's weird. I was just like, I'm not going to cry anymore. I don't want to cry anymore. I'm tired of crying. It makes me tired, sleepy, and I don't want to do that anymore. And so I'm going to try to find the funny and the humor and the happy and everything. Because the universe will show you the humor and everything. You just have to notice it and recognize it. And even if it needs to be to yourself because it's inappropriate in that moment, it helps us get through, and it so comes from the divine. Humor comes from the divine because it's medicine, just like music is medicine. So I would say that's how I got through it. You never really get over it, but how you get through it is just trying to find the humor in everything.
My mom passed a couple of years ago with a very, very short but surprising battle with leukemia.
Okay.
Basically, she got diagnosed, and then 6 weeks later, she was gone.
That's crazy.
Now that didn't happen when I was 7, so I can't imagine what that was like. But I do know that, it's only been, I guess, it's been 4.5 years.
She send you signs that she's around?
Every day I see a cardinal.
Yeah. Feathers for me
are... For some reason, it's a cardinal. Every single day I see a cardinal. And there's not a whole lot of cardinals in South Texas, especially like during the summer.
Okay.
But every day I see a cardinal. Sometimes I see more than one, but I usually see at least one cardinal. And who knows, but I take it as her saying hi.
I do too.
Like if my wife and I are walking and I don't see it, she's like, oh my gosh, it's over there. There's your cardinal.
Yeah.
So it's real sweet. But I do understand what you mean about the humor. Mm-hmm. There's inappropriate places, inappropriate times. Yeah, that humor does help.
It's funny, you end up having this relationship with the universe that you like have this inside joke with it, and you're like, I can't tell anybody this. It's completely inappropriate, but it's so funny, and
nobody would get it.
Nobody would get it.
Right. It's ours.
Yeah.
Like the cardinal thing, that's just me and my mom or whatever. That's just ours. Let's talk about some happier stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about happy things.
So, I read somewhere that Papa Willie bought you a guitar when you were
Yep.
16
And
or something like that?
I was 14.
14?
And I emailed him. He's on the road, of course, working all the time. And I
Wait,
emailed him.
he was on the road again?
Yep.
See what I did there?
It's hard not to say that and not giggle, you know?
Yeah. So he was on the road again.
He was on the road again, and I sent him an email. I was like, I think I want to learn to play guitar. Do you have an extra one that you could send me just to see if I want to continue it?
And he was like, no,
2 weeks
I don't
later,
have
there
any.
was a brand new one showed
Oh,
up.
brand new. You're like, no, I wanted yours.
And it was a fancy Martin acoustic guitar with a case, and I remember my mom being like, wow, Ray, really? Like, you know, her and I both just expected him to send me one of the, he has so many in his
I'm
house
sure.
just sitting around, you know?
He probably wasn't going to be home for a while.
Yeah, probably not. And I had asked him, I think, to send me some chords to his tunes, and he did. He sent them to me in that email.
Oh, really?
So I started playing, then taking lessons.
Do you still have that guitar?
So it made it through the fire. It was the only instrument that did. Isn't
Really?
that so magic?
Oh my
Because
gosh.
I've written started all our songs on that guitar. I play ukulele now, obviously, in the band, but I write
believe
songs
it's
on
ukulele.
I now play the ukulele, but I still write songs on that guitar. You know, it's easier for me to write on the guitar rather than the ukulele.
I would imagine, yeah.
So anyway, it was the only instrument that made it through that fire, which I thought was so magic because it's the one that means anything to me. All the other ones were just
That's
extras.
amazing.
I know, it was cool.
How'd the fire happen?
So I woke up in the middle of the night to fire reflection on my bedroom wall, and I'm like, is that fire? And I just think everything inside, around, all the good in the world, that I didn't just turn back over and go back to sleep, because I got up.
Where were your kids?
Asleep in the house.
Oh.
It was very much This Is Us, except everything's okay, everybody's good.
Stupid crock pot.
It wasn't even a crock pot. It was a lamp. A lamp had fallen off my daughter's dresser. And what I think had happened was she was in her room and ran from her room to my room and got in my bed. And when she did, it jostled the lamp off the dresser. It broke, and there was a towel on the floor. The towel caught on fire. The towel was laying perfectly toward the wood dresser, and everything just went up in smoke.
It's like a fuse.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I woke up to everything being on fire, and I got everyone out, all the animals and all the babies, and I actually went back in. I don't even know why I went back in, but I went back in and started not being able to figure out where I was because everything filled up with smoke. It was so scary, and I remembered from elementary school the firemen come in and saying, get low to the ground, you know? And so I just dropped low to the ground. I was on the phone with the fire department, or 911, and couldn't talk anymore because I realized that I was just breathing in smoke. And then something told me to grab my iPhone and flip on the flashlight. And I did, and I pulled it up in front of me and saw the guest bedroom bed, you know, and I knew that it was that because I knew what the bedspread on that bed was.
Because at this point,
I had no
you were
idea what was
lost,
in there.
right?
Yes,
You were lost.
I was just running into things in a matter of minutes. And I don't know if to this day, I don't know why I went back in. I think I was just like trying to save things or something. Everybody else was already out. But I saw the bed spread, and I was able to crawl out from that and came out coughing for 30, 45 minutes, you know?
I'm sure.
It was such a scary experience for me. But since then, I've learned a lot. I feel like a stronger person. My kids feel really safe now, you know? They're like,
mom can do anything.
Mom can do anything. And I keep saying, like, whenever they get scared, I'm like, your angels brought us through a fire. Why are you worried about the plane crashing, you know, or whatever? And they're like, oh yeah. We're not supposed to be here, and we're here, you know? Because the smoke alarms didn't go off. Same kind of thing. I took the smoke alarm down to paint the house, so there were none in there.
Wow.
It's amazing I woke up. So that was a cool experience, and the guitar came through it, and the kids came through it.
That's really cool about that guitar.
I didn't even grab it that night. I just went back in the next day, and we took it to the luthier in town that we trust, and
Because I'm sure it was water damage.
there was smoke and water damage everywhere. But he was like, this guitar doesn't even look like it's been through a fire. But it was where all the other instruments were too, and
They're all gone.
ruined. I don't know. It was just
Did you
like
tell-
an angel force around it or something.
Did you tell Papa Willie about that?
Yeah.
What did he say?
You know, he went through a fire as well, so he started telling me his fire story. And he had actually went into the house to save his guitar.
Oh, that's funny.
So it almost seemed like my dad had wrapped himself around it, and, you know, because he knew about that story of Papa Willie. And also, it's funny about that story is that he had written What Can You Do to Me Now, a song of his, that day, and then his house burned down. So he's like, careful what you write. You know, so it kind of went into a lesson, careful what you write.
Wow.
And I did have one cool moment where he did teach me how to play some stuff on guitar, on Trigger, on his bus. And that's only happened
Trigger?
one time. His guitar.
It's called Trigger?
Yeah, then he named his guitar Trigger.
Is that the guitar that
With
everybody
the hole?
sees him with all the time? Yeah, the hole that's rubbed in it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. What song did he teach you on that?
He was teaching me, he was just teaching me like different scales of things.
Oh, okay.
And I think I was playing Keith Whitley, and Alison Krauss did a cover of it too. When You Say Nothing at All.
Oh, okay.
And so he was showing me little things I could do while I was playing it, the chords, you know.
How cool is that? Is he much of a mentor? I mean, I know he's busy and you're busy.
He's busy doing his thing. He is so supportive, though. I can text him at any moment, and I get a text back from him.
That's really sweet.
He's so supportive and so sweet, and does what he can. You know, he sang on a song with us, and we're gonna play the family picnic. And we got to play Farm Aid in 2014.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
we
that's
opened
cool.
the show.
Very cool.
So yeah, he's supportive of all of us. All of us
Well,
trying to. We're all making our different sound.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
It's neat.
I think the one who sounds the most like him is probably Lucas.
Yeah, he sounds a lot like him, right?
I think a few years ago Lucas was on like Jimmy Fallon or something, and I mean it sounded exactly like a young Willie. My wife and I were just like, what the hell?
And his music is so good too. Lucas Nelson and Promise of the Real.
Promise of the Real.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting band name.
The vibe of that band is just brotherhood, togetherness, love for everyone. It's hard not to just break down and party when they're in town. Like, let's go.
So is there some sort of a Nelson Fest where all of the family bands come together, like Von Trapp style, and everybody just plays?
You know, we did for Papa Willie's 80th birthday, we all did a show in New York at Hard Rock.
Oh, wow.
In Times
New York.
Square. And
holy moly, that's
bands
not where
played.
you would think that the Willie Nelson
It
thing
was
would
kind
happen.
of, it worked well with his tour schedule. And
I love that he's touring still. And he just came out with an album like today, right? Or yesterday or something?
Yeah. Last Man Standing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and this is the first album in a long time that he's written every single song on there.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Let's see. What was the other one that just came out too? It was really good.
I think it's really cool because we saw him last year in, I don't remember, Casey Musgraves was opening for him.
Oh, I love her. She's sweet.
She's going to be on Saturday Night Live in a couple of weeks. How cool is that?
She should be. She's so
That's
funny.
great, right? Well,
And a good.
her lyrics
all
are
the
amazing.
success. She's a
but,
good person.
that's my wife's favorite artist. She just loves Casey so much.
Yeah.
Tell me about the Raelyn Nelson Band.
Okay, so I told you I had youngins. So when I was home and breastfeeding them at home a lot because they were sleeping, and I have twins who were born early, so they were babies for a long time. There was a lot of down home time, and I picked up the guitar and started writing some tunes. And when I was done breastfeeding and I wanted to get out and find a place to record the tunes, a buddy of mine knew JB, and they were hanging out at a mutual friend's house.
And what's JB's name?
Jonathan Bright.
Okay.
But he goes by JB.
Was he a producer?
He is a rock musician in town. He does produce our stuff and his stuff, and has produced some stuff with Bill Lloyd and from Foster and Lloyd in town.
And when you say in town, you mean Nashville?
Nashville, yeah.
Okay.
Music City. Okay, so JB was like, hey, she can record some tunes at my place. I won't charge very much. It was like $50 or something. I'm like, hell yeah, that's what I need. I just need to dip my toe.
Now, is this a studio in his house?
And it's behind his house.
Okay, cool.
He built a little studio back there. So I go over there, and by the end of the session, he was like, we should write some songs together and put a combo together. And I'm like, yes. I'm like, this is what I want. I want to play music. All I want to do is play music. And so we started writing songs, and we built it up to this now. He grabbed his buds from Defense Wins Championships, was his band, or is his band. They still play.
Is that a rock
They're coming
band?
out with an album. Mm-hmm.
And they're
Awesome
called
rock.
Defense Wins Championships.
Amazing musicians. Mm-hmm. And they are coming out with an album soon. JB's mixing now. Anyway, he grabbed the bass player and drummer from that band, and we started playing together. And Polly, the drummer, moved on to, he started drumming with Tom Kiefer. We've been through 10 drummers. Angie is our 10th drummer.
10 drummers in how long?
It's Spinal Tap, except we lose them to better artists, or better, more successful artists. And then Polly started playing with Gene Simmons. And then, so then we had Sarah Tomek, who started playing with Steven Tyler. And she was just on Seth Meyers' late night show.
Oh, okay.
And then Brad is now drumming with Steve Earle full time. So we keep losing drummers to...
It's weird that you're losing them to solo artists. You're not losing them to like Kiss or or Aerosmith. You're losing them to...
So Angie's probably going to be drumming for Miranda Lambert or something.
Maybe. I don't know anything about your other drummers, but Angie is a badass on drums.
We got so lucky that
Behind the kit,
she
she's
joined our
amazing.
band, and we've been able to practice more and put more songs into the set and put new songs of ours into the set because she's there and she'll come and rehearse with us every week. We haven't been able to do that because we've been having to teach new drummers the songs that we need to cover for our
It's hard to
set.
write new stuff if you're having to keep teaching the old stuff over and over again because you keep
Yes.
losing drummers.
So since she joined the band last fall, it's been so much better. We've been able to change the show up a little bit and write new stuff finally. And she's got a lot of fans because she's awesome.
She's awesome. And she's a really sweet person.
Her fans
she's great.
jumped onto our stuff and,
That's how I found you.
Yeah.
She was in a band previously that I was a fan of. I was a fan of the band, but I was really a fan of hers. And that was the band that she was in. And then when she left that band, I was like, where did she go? And then boom, I found you. And so that's how I found you.
Yeah, she's got a great energy about her, and her personality meshes well with our silliness.
That's good. I was going to ask, but I mean, what would you say?
She's
so it's cool.
It just meshes. It's like a puzzle piece. We needed her energy and her personality. She makes us laugh, and she's all rock and roll, which is it's a rock and roll band.
Uh-huh.
And it's like me stepping in with my ukulele and singing country songs with this rock band that's playing with me. That's what the
It's
band
a very
is.
unique sound.
Thank you. I think so. Very country, garage rock. But all the rock and roll is those guys, and I'm just pretending to rock out. Because my background is country, and it's so much fun to pretend to be Joan Jett and sing rock and roll, But that's all very new. All of those influences are new for me. I grew up listening to old country music.
Right. Well, you grew up not just listening to, but with old country music.
With it, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you met some of the older people who started country music, really.
Yeah, I don't remember it being a big deal. I wish I did, because I remember seeing them and meeting them and them like, oh yeah, and not thinking twice about it until later on, like, oh, that was Dolly Parton that came up and gave me that cute look.
I mean, that's just, Grandpa's work friends or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, he goes off to work, and that's cool, though. Mm-hmm. That's really sweet. I bet you have some, hopefully your pictures and stuff survived the fire?
Not a lot of them.
Oh, well, maybe,
but
I'm sure your
family
mom
has a lot of them.
Yeah. It's that big family, too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
weird family tree. Papa Willis had 4 wives.
And 7 kids. So, there's not a whole lot about you on the internet because I was trying to do some research.
Uh-huh.
There's not really a whole lot about you.
Okay.
But I went down this rabbit hole, and have you ever read Papa Willie's Wikipedia page?
No.
It is fucking hilarious.
Is it?
It is so funny.
What is it? Just a bunch of horse shit? What is it? Or is it real?
If it's real, there needs to be 3 or 4 movies made about this man.
Okay.
Because, like, I'm assuming his first wife is your grandmother, right?
Mm-hmm. Grandma Martha.
Okay. Is she still alive?
No.
Okay. Now, there's a story on the Wikipedia page.
It's true.
Is it?
Where she sewed him up in the sheets.
She sewed him into a bedsheet and beat him with a broomstick.
It's kind of true. So he thought she had sewn him into it because he couldn't get out of it.
But he was just...
But she tucked it in to where he couldn't get out because he came home drunk, wasted.
What?
No, not him. And so it seemed to him like...
So she just tucked him into the bed.
His story is she sewed me in there. And she did beat him with the broomstick.
For coming home drunk?
Uh-huh. It's true.
The look on your face, you're just like, yeah.
It's true. I've heard that story my whole life.
Oh my gosh,
and then
that's so funny.
There's a story where she used to be a server at Tootsie's in Nashville. And him and I think Ben Dorsey and a few other guys were in there and completely wasted. And she started throwing shot glasses at them because they were just acting like fools.
Fools.
Just having fun and acting crazy, and it pissed her off. Whatever he did pissed her off, and she started throwing liquor bottles and shot glasses at him.
While she was working?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So he was just there as a patron?
They met in Texas, and then she came with him to Nashville.
Okay.
I'm not in Nashville right now. She came with him to Nashville, and she found a job serving, and they had 3 little kids.
And they got married in in the early 50s, I think.
They were young too.
And they were married for like 10 years. So it also says that he retired in 1972, which makes me laugh because that's 46 years ago, and he is as big as he's ever been. That is so funny. But we're not here to talk about him. Sorry.
He's so much fun to talk about.
He is, I'm sure. Tell me about you're playing what are you playing? You said you're playing somewhere with him,
We're going to play the 4th of July picnic, but I usually never even see him at the picnics now because they're so big.
And they're in
They just
Austin?
keep getting bigger and bigger.
In Shiner, where are they?
They're at Austin 360 Speedway. It's this huge speedway, and so many people
like the racetrack?
drowning in sweat.
It's at the racetrack?
The raceway, yeah.
Yeah. I just heard a commercial on the way here this weekend. I guess Bruno Mars and Britney Spears are going to be there.
Yeah, the place is huge.
Yeah, it has a name. I can't remember it. It's a F1 racetrack. It's crazy.
We got in a golf cart last time and tried to make it up the hill, and it wouldn't make it up the little hill.
That's funny.
Like, okay.
So that's where it is? Is that where it always is?
That's where it's been the last 3 years, and this will be our 4th year. It's there again. But
Very cool.
When I was growing up, it was all over the place.
Yeah, I feel like it was in Shiner or Moulton or wherever that's called.
It's been, and sometimes it's been in Pennsylvania and New York.
Pennsylvania? What?
Saratoga, New York, I think 1 year. And
he's a Texas boy, right? Why?
Well, just to venture out to all, he's got fans all over
No,
America.
4th of July doesn't count unless it's in Texas.
It's so hot in Texas.
Oh my gosh.
4th of July.
Who are you telling?
It looks like I call it Texas thigh sweat because if you're wearing pants, you will get sweat there and it looks like you've peed your pants.
Yeah.
So everybody looks like they peed their pants if they're wearing pants.
That's what that girl, what's her name? Fergie. That's what she should have went with when all those pictures came out about her. She should have
I guarantee you that's what it was.
Well, I mean.
Thigh sweat. She was in Texas probably
right.
too.
There's no way she just pissed herself on stage. Come on.
No. Come on, people. Where'd she go? What is she doing?
Well, she got a divorce recently from Josh Duhamel. And only, I think it was like 6 or 8 weeks ago, she sang the national anthem for the...
That's right. Okay. Yes.
That's the last time anybody
Fergie.
saw her. She did that.
That's right. Yes, we're going to be in Denton tomorrow.
Now that's near Dallas,
That's a
right?
great segue. Yeah, it's right above Dallas. I don't know about the music scene in Dallas, but the music scene in Denton is really cool. That's a really cool town.
Really?
It is a neat little town. It's college-y.
You know who lives there?
Earl.
Brody. My name is Earl. That's what you're going to say, right?
Yeah.
He played Brody in...
What's his name? I can't think of his
name is Jason Lee.
Jason Lee, yeah.
He played Brody in Mallrats and Chasing Amy. So he's a Brody. He's a Brody connection. That's why I asked, because that's sort of an unusual name.
They
and I
say
was
he
like,
came
oh,
there
Brody.
to film a movie or film a scene for something.
His wife is from there, and so
Okay.
they bought a house there, and he's a photographer now.
Yeah.
And so he has a photography studio like on Main Street in Denton.
Yeah, and they say he's very much a part of the community. And
Yeah, they say he's like a real big part of it. He does everything. He talks to everybody. He does favors and all kinds of stuff.
I went in there last time to see if I could find him, but
You went into the studio?
or went by it because it's all right
okay.
there. It's
Right.
it's a cool place. You should go because if you haven't been, because it's a big square kind of thing, and
If I
you can
go
walk
and I look
around
for
with
him,
alcohol in that area. It's
I'm
neat.
going to get arrested because,
You can walk around with alcohol.
oh my gosh, that's great. You should pop in and tell him what's up.
I know, I want to. And I'd love to show my name is Earl. Come on in. Announce yourself.
Come in!
She's really sweet.
She's sweet. There's a church next door?
I didn't know. I don't know. I guess so.
Man, I need to get out more.
This is your hometown, right?
Yeah.
You're based here.
I live 40 minutes from here, but I've lived in San Antonio my whole life.
Yeah.
What were we talking about before the Naka Naka?
I don't know.
Man. Oh, we were talking about Jason Lee and Denton.
Yes. I'm a huge fan of his, so I would want to go in there and say hi to him, but I would probably be really self-conscious about how I was acting because I wouldn't want him to think I was starstruck. But
Well,
I
definitely don't tell him you named your kid Brody.
Okay.
Because he'll be like,
I wouldn't have even known that until you told me.
Because the first
honestly.
movie he was ever in was Mallrats.
And I've seen that,
played
but I
Brody.
didn't even remember that he was in that and that terrible. But, it came out when I was, when did it come out?
Like
80?
95?
95? Yeah, I was
No.
9.
95, somewhere around
Yeah,
there.
that sounds
95,
right.
97,
I feel
something
like I was
that.
like 9 or 10 when that came
You
out.
were just a little kid.
Malls were happening then, huh?
Yeah, malls used to be a thing. There's still a thing here in San Antonio.
Yeah, everything's
There's
an
a big
outlet
mall
mall
right
here. I've noticed.
Yeah, there's a lot of outlets here.
Or everything's in a strip mall type of.
Yeah, there's a lot of
situation.
that. There's a lot of that. But 1 mile that way is the coolest mall in San Antonio. There's
I
there's
think I
giant
went by
cowboy
it
boots.
when I got our coffee. Yep, saw the big giant cowboy boots.
Yeah, those are a San Antonio thing.
Okay. Those are some big shoes to fill, huh?
Oh my gosh! Oh, woo, Papa Willie! At the end of this, can I play one of your songs?
Yeah.
Which one?
Which one do
You
you want
pick
to
it.
play?
You pick it.
One of our songs or like a cover song that we've done?
Well, definitely not one of my songs. It'd probably be
Maybe
easier.
Brother. You want to play Brother?
All right.
Can't breathe, I'm still smoking, I'm so high, I keep toking, I'm drunk, but I'm still drinking too. Used to love you like no other till you said found another, so I went and told my brother, now he's coming after you. He's coming after you, boy, he's coming after you. He ain't gonna stop until you're through.
like that one is the first one where we honed in on our sound.
Okay.
And we were like, this is it. And we're going to try to write songs that are this kind of feel and kind of, it's bluegrass, but it's played with a rock band. It's basically the feel.
So now that you all have sort of molded your chemistry, like, you had said it was sort of like a rock band with a country girl in the front with an ukulele.
Yeah.
So now that y'all have this chemistry figured out, do y'all write in that direction, or do y'all, like, how does that work?
Yeah, I'd say so. I usually start the songs and then I'll voice memo something to JB and then he'll add some rock element to it. And we both do the lyrics just because we both are songwriters and it's fun to write lyrics. And then we settle on the best idea, between the two of us. Yeah, I'd say like when we had Brother, we're like, this is it. This is what we want to sound like. This is fun.
Really?
Then we were like, oh, and then, you kind of let songs come naturally and whatever the feel is what the feel is. But I would say most of our songs have that Brother thing where it's a bluegrassy with a rock, but it's a rock and roll band playing.
Cool.
You get your face rocked.
Oh, yeah, face melting.
Yes.
All right.
You will be rocked hard, but you will be feeling like you're listening to country music.
Sweet. That's really cool. What was your profession before you started doing this?
I was full-time mom, and I worked for a real estate appraiser.
Oh, really?
I was the office manager for a real estate appraiser.
Oh, okay, cool.
In Nashville.
Got you. And you've been in Nashville your whole life?
Yeah, born and raised there.
Yeah.
So my mom was working as a promo girl at a radio station.
Okay.
And my grandpa came through and stopped at the radio station, did whatever he had to do there. My dad was on the bus with him, and he met my mom there, and they fell in love.
Really?
And then laid roots down there, got married, had me. Yeah.
Oh, that is so precious. What radio station was it?
Oh, KTX. I think I used it before the fire. I still had one of her shirts from it. And it said KTX on it. Yeah, it just that's how it happened. And her family has always been from Gainesboro, Tennessee, and then they moved in. Her grandmother moved to Nashville, and then her mom stayed around
I've interviewed a lot of people from Nashville.
Yeah. Interesting, because it seems like there's 6 of us that are actually born and raised there.
Oh, I don't know if anybody besides you was born there.
It's just me.
Yeah,
and my
it's
children.
just you. Do you know who Bree Bagwell is?
I should. That name sounds really
She's
familiar.
a singer country lady like yourself. Actually, she was just named for the 6th time in a row Texas Female Vocalist of the Year.
That's so cool.
Really cool, right?
Go Bree.
And she was in Nashville. She was I guess she was a songwriter for Sony.
Okay.
And so she was there writing forever. And
yeah.
And then there's a band called the Vagabonds. Have you heard of them?
I have heard of them.
They came here on a tour 2 years ago, I think it was. My friend and I went to interview the guy who was opening for them.
Okay.
And I ended up, my friend ended up going home, and I just stayed until 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, just hanging out with, because not very many people showed up because it really wasn't publicized very well.
Yeah.
And so I just got to hang out with all of these dudes, the guy that went to interview, and I got to hang out with all the Vagabonds, and everybody was so cool. And then, of course, Angie.
Yeah, Angie.
Yeah, I mean,
she's the coolest one.
Well, she is pretty cool. I was interviewing Bree Bagwell, I think it was later in the evening after I had interviewed Angie over the phone. And I was telling Bree about it, and she was like, "Oh my God, a girl drummer? That's so badass."
Isn't it? It's so badass.
And this is not your first girl drummer, right?
No, Sarah Tomek was, and she went on to Steven Tyler.
Do you think there's a difference between boy drummers and girl drummers?
Only because girl drummers are so badass.
Because they're so badass.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
How about this?
They're a star in their own right.
They are, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that the music business is harder or easier or anything because you're a girl? Do you think being a girl plays into...
It might, but I don't think about that too much.
And do you think that being a Nelson has any effect?
I only think that it makes people maybe want to listen to it. It doesn't guarantee they're going to like the music.
You think it makes people want to give it a shot? I'll give this a try.
Yeah. It opens opportunities because people will listen to it, I think, when they hear about
Then
Papa
it's
Willie.
your job to melt their faces.
Yeah, for them to like it.
Good,
And not
good.
everyone does, and that's okay, you know? We all have different influences. And I think as the generation, I keep saying this a lot lately, but as generation after generation happens and we have all these different influences, how can we be put into these 4 main genres? Pop, rock, country, jazz. You know? How can it just be those when we have all these influences and we're gonna be creating new genres because how are you not? You know? There's nothing really new in music. You just kind of pull from different parts of it and create something new. Does that make sense?
That makes
Explain that
100%.
correctly?
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes 100% sense. I mean, we're a melting. The whole world is a melting pot of culture now, especially
Yes.
with the internet and everything is so so small. There's no way there's just 4 or whatever.
Right.
There really shouldn't even be categories anymore because they don't really work.
Yeah, it worked in the beginning when, it was all new and
Right, when it was all new.
it was easy to place.
I know that you have to go do a sound check. I really appreciate
Thank
the
you
time.
for having me. This has been
Thank
fun.
you so much. Do you want to tell everybody what your social media handles are?
Yes, Raelyn Nelson Band, RAELYN NELSON Band, BAND, and
Is that's on Twitter?
at Raelyn Nelson on Twitter, at Raelyn Nelson Band on Instagram, and Raelyn Nelson Band on Facebook. You can also find me and Raelyn Nelson on Facebook and Instagram. I think I'm just myself is on
And
those two.
RaelynNelsonBand.com?
Yes.
Awesome.
I will say that I have an acoustic duo called with my friend Hannah Fairlight. She was just in Pitch Perfect 3. And we have a pledge campaign going right now to fund our album, and we are so close to our goal.
When does the campaign end?
10 days from now.
This won't be up by then, but
hell.
I will be
Then
sure.
edit all of this out.
I won't, but I'll be sure and I'll push it on my social medias.
Cool.
Who's
It's
it through?
Band, MMHMM Band.
Where-
It's Smothers Brothers meets Joan Jett meets John Prine. And
Smothers Brothers?
do you remember them?
No, because I'm not 100, but I know who they are. Is it on Indiegogo or what's it on?
It's on Pledge Music.
Pledge Music.
And our album comes out June 15th.
Oh wow, that's right around the corner.
It is. And our first single comes out kind of soon called All Hell. I'll send you some of that.
All
That way-
Hell by
Yes.
Can I play that too?
Yes.
Is that
please
cool?
do. Please
Okay,
do.
great. I will absolutely do that.
Sitting on the screen porch, oh hell. Yep. See a storm rolling in, oh hell. Foxes in the hen house, oh hell. And the rain starts pouring in on me, oh hell. Well, I didn't know it stormed today, oh hell. And it finally went away to stay, oh hell. Guess the drought had me all dried out, oh hell. And now I'm drowning in your wishing well. The grass always greener on the other side. You still gotta cut it or it gets too high. Life's too short and we're all gonna die. Let's go out with a bang like the 4th of July. Finally swipe my piece of the pie. Say hello, say goodbye, oh hell. Oh hell. Rain has started to slow down, oh hell. But I'm thinking and pacing and checking the clock, oh hell. I can't eat, so I'll just drink, oh hell. Wait for the fog to clear my mind, oh hell. Got 2 feet and 2 old boots, they've weathered storms with souls worn through. Feathers in my hair, whiskey in my rye. Bake my bread and I'll eat my pie. Clouds gonna clear and the sun's gonna shine. Won't know when and I don't know why, oh hell. Oh hell. Hey, you look really cute in my daddy's chest. Oh, what's that? Oh hell. Got to get going.
where can we find
MMHMM Band at Band on all of them. Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Is there a website?
Yep, theband.com.
And how do you spell
MMHMM. Double M-H, double M. And you can't say it with your mouth open. You should try, because you can't.
No, because then it just comes out, Who was she in Pitch Perfect 3?
So she plays in Evermoist, the band that is...
The one that's fronted by Justin Bieber?
Fronted by Ruby Rose?
Yeah. Justin Bieber, Ruby Rose, same person.
Ruby Rose is actually really kind, she says, and a really cool person.
I'm sure she... Oh, I see what you did there, because Justin Bieber isn't. But...
I don't know Justin Bieber. I don't know anyone who knows him.
When Ruby Rose was on Orange is the New Black...
His mom went and prayed with my mom once in Nashville. That's strange.
For anything in particular? Why was she in Nashville?
I think for her son.
I would imagine.
Because it's Music City.
Does she live there?
No. I think he was coming through and she went to the church there. And my mom prays at the church.
When Ruby Rose was on Orange is the New Black, everybody was saying she looks like Justin Bieber, or Justin Bieber looks like her.
She's beautiful. Like,
you are not
gorgeous.
Wrong. Yeah, she's pretty. Very pretty.
So beautiful. Anyway, Hannah played the bass player in that band, Evermoist, that was battling the Bellas.
Right.
And she's got a huge part in it. And when I went to the theater and saw her, she's 30 feet tall, and I'm screaming in the theater, "Oh my God, it's Hannah!" You know, it's so cool. She's my claim to fame. My beat buddy is in Pitch Perfect 3.
And her last name is?
Fairlight. Hannah Fairlight. You can find her on everything as well. She's got her own solo project. I know we're trying to end.
Well, you have to go. Thank you so much.
I don't want to go. I just want to keep talking to you.
I do want to take a picture. I do want to take a picture. Is that cool? Hey guys, this is Steve Owens from Fascination Street Podcast. You know, the podcast you just listened to. Well, I need your help. I need to get more ratings and reviews on iTunes. So here's what I'm going to do. I had some special Fascination Street Podcast surprise gifts made up for everybody who rates and reviews the podcast on iTunes. Doesn't matter what you rate it. It doesn't matter how you rate it, as long as you rate it. And then email a screenshot to fascinationstreetpod@gmail.com along with your name and mailing address so that I can mail you your free surprise thank you gift. So if you've gotten this far, go ahead and take another couple of minutes to rate and review the podcast, and you might as well subscribe and tell a friend. It helps me keep doing what I'm doing. So thanks, guys. Opening music is the song Magnolia from the 2014 album Intransigence, used with permission from Douglas Miles Clark. Closing music is Apollo from the 2001 album Into the Known by the band Sapphire. Thanks for hanging out with us and getting to know a little bit about our guest. We'll see you next time on Fascination Street.